What's going on, everybody? My name is VladimirCR, and today we are playing a game called Billionaire Simulator that I found while browsing itch.io a few days ago. Apparently you are put in the shoes of Jeff Bezos. You wake up in his body for a day, you have access to all of his billions upon billions of dollars, and you are supposed to spend them in whatever ways you see fit. I thought that was a pretty fun sounding concept, so we're going to do just that. It's a simple little text-based, I don't even really say adventure, it's just a text-based game. And you just have different choices that you have to pick. If you want to play this game, I'll leave the link in the description of this video. It's kind of fun to mess around with billionaires' money, even though technically it's not doing any good, but hey, we can all dream, right? Anyway, so on the left here, you are Jeff Bezos, who is the owner or CEO, whatever you want to call him, of Amazon. Your current worth is $156 billion. We can save the game or restart. We're not going to do any of this. We're going to do this in one sitting. So here we go. When you wake up this morning from unsettling dreams, you find yourself changed into your bed into a monstrous vermin. You are Jeff Bezos. Dun dun dun. Anyway, Jeff Bezos' employees are now your employees. His money is now your money. Nothing you say or do will convince anyone you are not Jeff Bezos, even his closest friends and family. What do? The first thing I'm going to do is, I hate to say it, but I would not scream and sob with terror, considering the fact that if I woke up one morning and all of a sudden just magically had $156 billion, I wouldn't be crying. But I'll tell you what the first thing I'm going to do in the morning is, because it's the same thing I do the first thing every morning, I'm going to go to the bathroom. You go to the bathroom. It takes you about 9 minutes to do all your business. You flush the toilet, because any game with a bathroom that does not allow you to flush the toilet is not a real game. In that 9 minutes, you, Jeff Bezos, make $540,000. That's more than 9 times an American's average annual salary and 20 times the median salary of an Amazon employee. Jesus Christ, no kidding, that's a freak ton of money. Yeah, it's kind of horrifying, isn't it? Right, okay. So how do I get rid of all this money? You cannot invest it, keep it, or earn more of it. You can only spend it. But that's a really inefficient way to use wealth. Sure, but it's also true that no billionaire just sits on a giant pile of cash. Most of Bezos' wealth is abstracted into stocks, investments, and so forth. But that's not the scope of this simulation. This simulation is about spending all of Jeff Bezos' fucking money. Well, alright then. Jeff Bezos' current wealth is displayed on the left, right here. Below are some things you might consider spending it on. Now, the very first thing I want you guys to notice is this first option here. Pay off student loan debt. $1.5 trillion. We have $156 billion. That is less than a tenth of what we would need to actually wipe out student loan debt across the country. Student loans are a scam. Don't get me wrong. Go to college, do your thing. I just really hope that you guys can stay away from student loans. It's a scam. But anyway, I'm not here to talk about all that because I'm not a college graduate personally, if you couldn't tell. And I'm hoping that you guys just make smart decisions, and best of luck to all of you, honestly. Also, if you're liking this video, by the way, go ahead and drop a like on the video. It's going to get better, I promise. And if you haven't already, feel free to subscribe to me. I'm never going to say no. Anyway, so blah blah blah. Some things you might consider spending it on. So we could repair Puerto Rico. We could pay for the border wall and then not build it. We could pay our personal taxes. We could hire 100,000 new teachers for 4 years each, or we could end homelessness in the United States. Now, if I woke up mysteriously one morning and I had $156,540,000 just poof out of thin air, then I would more than likely end homeless. I would want, like, if I were given these choices, I would want to end homelessness in the United States, because it's ridiculous. The most powerful country in the world, supposedly, and we have people living in the streets because they don't have a place to stay. Why? Have they been given a bad turn? Have they made some mistakes? America is the land of second chances, the land of opportunity. Why do we have people that don't even have homes? So we're going to end homelessness in the United States. Bam. Just like that, $20 billion is gone. You eliminate homelessness in the United States. Every living person in the US now has the guarantee of a roof over their head. This costs you $20 billion, or a trivial 12.8% of your starting net worth. You still have $136,540,000. I'll soon change that, don't worry. You get a phone call on your personal line from your main financial advisor, apparently distressed. You ignore it. So, My next thing that I would do, because I come from a family of teachers, or at least a lot of the people I know, a lot of my family members are teachers or in some sort of teaching profession of some kind. So what I'm going to do is, because teachers are the most underappreciated, undervalued, and overstressed people in the entire country, I'm going to hire 100,000 new teachers for 4 years each at $22.4 billion. You hire 100,000 new teachers for a median salary of $58,000, covering their salary for the first 4 years of their hire. This comes in at around $22.4 billion for you, or about a third of the annual U.S. education budget. A third of the U.S. annual education budget. In an interview, Betsy DeVos praises your actions as the free market in action. In response, you lure her off to a remote area in the upper Midwest, promising to show her a designer mansion with 5 different styles of windows. When she gets there, all she finds is an abandoned shack without plumbing and a distinct lack of yachts. Aw, A++. Twitter is lighting up with liberals praising your good deeds with the hashtag Bezos' Bay. Leftists still hate you. Of course they do. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to pay, I'm assuming this is Jeff Bezos' personal taxes, so we're going to do that. We're going to pay his personal taxes. Here's where we get into the dicey business of what personal worth is and how that translates into taxable income. Answer: it usually doesn't, because rich people are master frauds and charlatans who exploit loopholes in tax code to avoid paying their fair share. Jeff Bezos is worth $156 billion. You're using the top tax bracket of 37% and paying out $57.72 billion of that. You'd pay 99%, but then this would be a very short simulator. Hooray for simple math! Seriously, I hate math, so simple math is the best, if you have to have math. Mark Zuckerberg unfriends you. An architect of the Iraq War is penning an op-ed in a newspaper you do not control, explaining why your actions are consistent with neoliberalism and there's no cause for alarm. Peter Thiel knocks tentatively at your door, asking if there isn't something you'd like to maybe get a coffee and talk about. You ignore him. Of course I do. So we have $55,880,540,000 left. What else can we spend it on? Good job decimating a rich man's wealth so far, by the way. You've gone from $156 billion to a mere $55 billion, whatever I said a minute ago, in a few clicks of a button. If you could only manufacture guillotines this easily. So, my next thing I would do is abolish the Electoral College, because it undermines the popular vote, and it makes us feel, well, I don't speak for all Americans, I feel for what I feel personally, but I feel like the Electoral College is an exercise in undermining everything that we as voters and citizens of the United States of America are guaranteed, which is the right to vote. Because never mind, I'm not getting into that right now because I don't get political. So we're just going to get rid of them altogether. Strictly speaking, the only thing necessary to abolish the entire United States Electoral College is the vote and ratification of 3/4 of the Union, or 38 states, and politicians are very cheap to purchase. An average Senate seat costs $10 million, but you can win over sitting senators for less than that. The House is a trickier proposition thanks to sheer numbers, but all you really need to do to make the whole thing work is to convince Republicans that abolishing a slavery-era system and transitioning to a popular vote for major elections would totally own the libs. Sorry, not sorry, Hamilton. Alexander Hamilton, I'm assuming, is the one who established the Electoral College. So, Fox News goes unexpectedly off-air, citing existential difficulties. Time names you its Person of the Year. You decline that fair weather bullshit. Of course I do, because that's not who I am. So, the next thing I would do is, I believe I would support 10,000 artists. No, you know what? Let's take care of the legal stuff first. We're going to pay back taxes to the European Union, which is Amazon's back taxes, I believe, not Jeff Bezos's personally. I'm not sure, though. We're going to find out. You pay Amazon's back taxes to the European Union, a trivial $293 million, or €263,677,000 euros. That's enough to host Eurovision 8 times. Can't beat Lordy. Okay, what's next? The squatter in the White House goes on an unhinged Twitter rant branding you a communist, democrat, fascist with small genitals who is ruining the economy. He calls for your execution. Well, you know what? We're going to buy Twitter and we're going to delete his account. $50 billion. Bam. Gone. Just like that. Don't care. You buy Twitter for $50 billion, way more than it's actually worth, but you'd rather get the acquisition over with quickly. After you ban the circus peanut in the White House, you also get rid of Jack and all the Nazis. Good riddance, I say. So, Bill and Melinda Gates send you a kind yet concerned greeting card asking if perhaps you'd like a little advice on how to spend money on pools, but in a moderate way. You burn it. Of course I do. That's exactly what I would do. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to support 10,000 artists in residence for 4 years each, because the arts are an undervalued part of American society, in my opinion. Art studies are undervalued. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to support 10,000 artists. Bam, $2 billion gone, just like that. You spend $2 billion funding 10,000 artists in residence at various museums, universities, and conservatories around the country. Each artist receives $50,000 a year for up to 4 years, allowing them to pursue creative endeavors unfettered by the oppressive shackles of capitalism. Your lawyers beg you to force the artists to wear a sponsored by Amazon badge on their shirts for every day of their residencies. It's the least the artists can do, they argue, in exchange for your generosity. You fire these lawyers and use their retainer fees to fund a few more artists. Nice. Ah, finally, assassins have shown up. I don't care about assassins. I'm Jeff Bezos. I'm still worth $3 billion. Let's do this thing. We're going to double the assassin's fee to pay them to assassinate their clients instead. $500 million to counter-assassinate some people is probably budgeting a little high. Assassinations are cheaper than you would think. Spending the leftover funds pushing through progressive gun control legislation. You know what's even cheaper to buy than assassins? Politicians. If only some rich person with a good moral compass would buy out Congress. Hey, wait! Yeah, right? A loud crack fills the room as finally your frantic family members and several bodyguards manage to break down the door to your bedroom. A few of your burlier relatives pin you down and take away your laptop. Please, Uncle Bezos, begs the doe-eyed child, who is probably not actually your nibbling, crumbly, gibbly tears falling down their cheeks as you are tied to a chair. You've left us with a mere $2,707,540,000. Mother says we'll be ever so destitute if you do not cease your wretched spending. Destitute. Do Jeff Bezos' extended family speak like Charles Dickens characters? They do here. What say you to the child? Sit them down and patiently explain why being a billionaire is immoral. We're going to do that. I don't know why, because I feel like it. With your arms tied behind your back, you are left gesturing with your head, asking the sniffing, snot-nosed cherub to take a seat on your knee. They do, and while your family and hired strongmen rifle through your belongings, trying to find a way to undo your recent financial transactions, you launch into your best, most heartfelt, age-appropriate lecture on ethics. It is light on theory and heavy on comparisons, but you do manage to get across that in a world of such wealth as ours, a select few hold on to the vast majority of that wealth, whether they earned it or not. While others starve is neglecting our So, for a select few to hold on to the vast majority of that wealth, whether they earn it or not, while others starve, is neglecting our moral duty to one another. The child listens quietly and frowns. Look, you say finally, just watch The Good Place. Well, that sure took a while to reach a pretty basic media recommendation, and unfortunately, in the meantime, you've earned $10,428,660. Maybe it would have been better to leave the child rearing to social media. Enough of this. Time to spend more of Jeff Bezos' fucking money. You flex your shiny biceps as hard as you can. The ropes binding you to the chair literally burst in so many shreds of hemp. You stand, using a leg of the chair to beat back several bodyguards and distraught adult heirs. When you see a path open, you take it, fleeing to the city streets armed with only your bathrobe, a phone, and a small laptop. After escaping to the subway, you spare a quick glance at your bank account, and you find it is still too large for your taste. We have $2,717,968,660 left. So, what we're going to do with that is, let's see. We're going to fix the Flint water crisis, because this has been seriously going on for too long. You completely renovate the deteriorated water system of Flint, Michigan, freeing its residents from corporate serfdom to nestle. This sets you back all of $55 million, or less than the cost of a single SpaceX rocket. Literally, this should have happened years ago already. Exactly. It's ridiculous. You hole up in a dimly lit cafe where no one will question why Jeff Bezos is here in his bathrobe working on a laptop. To help ensure their science, you pay the college educations of the 3 baristas on duty $303,000. You also tip well because labor should be adequately compensated regardless of whether a service worker goes the extra mile for you. $200. 15% is a suggestion. I do feel like servers do need to own that, but I will give a minimum of 10%, usually. So 15 is for that little extra mile, and then 20% is for way above and beyond. But that's my own personal thing. So what we're gonna do now is let's Oh man, these are some good choices. How about let's pay off 1,000 graduate students' loans first, because again, college was it school loans, whatever those are called, are terrible. They're a scam. Anyway, we're gonna do that. The average graduate student has $56,600 in loan debt. Your friends are anything but average, of course, but you also probably don't have 1,000 of them, so 57.6 million should cover you either way, plus a few hundred strangers. You spend any leftovers organizing a game studies conference, including covering transportation and hotel expenses for all speakers. Todd Harper does the opening keynote, and Matty Bryce oversees the wine tasting session. No speakers over the age of 45. They just don't understand us, man. I don't know. A barista with a lip ring and an Imperator Furiosa tattoo brings you a second coffee. They tell you that what you're doing now doesn't make up for all the years you, Jeff Bezos, have spent exploiting your workers and destroying rival businesses. You agree wholeheartedly, since it's not like they'll believe you if you explain you're just a rando stuck in Jeff Bezos' gross plastinated body. So what we're going to do is let's finance 100 indie games, because I've seen some good ones. If I get to pick what 100 indie games I finance, then this is what I would do next. Let's be real, there are two kinds of independent games. The ones made by former AAA devs, which often run into the millions and usually require outside investment and stuff like this built in twine. So postulating that you could fund 100 indie games for 1 million each is some wild ass math. But let's say you find 10 of those bigger games by industry veterans and use the rest to support 200 small indies. Or maybe you don't fund any Kickstarter games and instead donate every last cent of your favorite avant-garde glitch girl. Whatever you want, babe, it's your Jeff Bezos' money. Take that, indie apocalypse. I'm hoping that helped. Anyway, sirens outside. You've learned from the TV that there's a warrant out for your arrest for suspicion of fraud, which under the circumstances seems hilarious because remember, we are us, but in Jeff Bezos' body. Your barista allies shuttered the blinds to the already darkened coffee shop. They decide to switch off the news and put on anime instead. You know what? If I was bigger into anime, I would probably find this a lot more funny, but we're going to go ahead and I think public libraries are important, so we're going to do that. The cost of a new public library can vary, but 15 million gets you a relatively fancy one. So obviously 150 million gets you 10 fancy ones. Any remainder ought to go towards maintaining the library since you built them and all. Books are good, it's true. One of the baristas has given you away. It was an accident. They forgot they left location data on while tweeting the hashtag BezosIsBay hashtag. Before you know it, you have the entire local police force at the cafe's front door. You scan your list for something quick to spend some of Jeff Bezos' money on while the baristas arrange for your escape through the back. Let's fund 10 animal rescues. For $5 million a year each, these aren't your run-of-the-mill animal shelters. These are full-featured rescues focused on providing for abused former circus animals and exotic pets. You know those videos testing whether tigers will sit in boxes and get high off catnip? That's the kind of rescue you're funding. Awesome, let the good times roll. I'm all about it. You and your barista accomplices race through the city's back streets, cannily avoiding police blockades and Amazon locker locations. Twice you are nearly cut down by weaponized delivery drones, but you manage to dive out of the firing range just in time. The drones record you as KIA, killed in action, in their online tracking system anyway, thus buying you a precious few minutes. Huddled behind a dumpster, you find the barista with the lip ring has sustained a deep cut to their arm. I'm going to use my cleanest $100 bills to dress the wound. $1,000, I'm hoping it'll help. You literally throw money at the problem and tape together 10 printer-fresh $100 bills end to end, using them as a makeshift bandage around the barista's wound. They grimace. It's not a great way to dress a cut, but it's probably better than nothing, and they appreciate the fact that you're trying at least. Make a break for the sewers. It's no use. Sewers actually aren't all that spacious, and also manhole covers are very heavy. The police catch up to you while you are swearing and nursing your stubbed toe. Maybe you should have run out of your luxury apartment wearing something sturdier than slippers. You and your 3 barista allies are arrested on the spot. Oh. Oops. You and your college-aged accomplices are each charged with resisting arrest and the most fascist bullshit. You and your college-aged accomplices are each charged with resisting arrest, the most fascist bullshit charge. Additionally, you are charged with 1 count of destabilizing capitalism, while the 3 baristas are charged with pirating anime. I am going to let's see, and everyone else is the... We're going to do this one, I think, because doesn't that mean the baristas get to go free? No. I want the baristas to go free. Oh, man, that's actually a tough one. I don't understand legal stuff very much, so I'm not real sure what to do here. Pay bail for baristas and everyone else in the city's jail. Paying bail doesn't wipe out their crimes, but if I bribe the cops to let them go, their crimes won't be a thing to begin with. Pirating is bad, so technically I want the baristas to learn from that, but yeah, we're going to do this one. You pay the cost bail for your 3 coffee-making accomplices, as well as the entire jail population of the city, about 12,000 people. The police, catching wise, put your own bail at an absolutely unheard of $1,928,064,460. There's no way anyone could pay that. I'm going to demand to see my lawyer. Because you are white and wealthy, the law works differently for you. You are granted a phone call to your lawyer. Unfortunately, you do not know the number to Jeff Bezos' lawyer, or even who they are. And I'm gonna drop the accent. I'm losing it. All right. So you recall talking to some lawyers, but you're pretty sure you fired those. You realize that if you're going to do anything with this one phone call, it should be something to try and get rid of as much of your remaining wealth as possible. What do you spend Jeff Bezos' money on? Well, at this point, I'm going to donate all I have left to rebuilding Puerto Rico. You donate everything you have left towards rebuilding Puerto Rico. The sum is significant and goes some ways towards the island's recovery. It won't fix everything, but it helps, and you can be sure the funds won't go to waste. After finishing your phone call, you return quietly to your cell. If hashtag #Bezos'sBay is still trending on Twitter, you're sure someone is raising money for your legal fees right now, but you absolutely refuse to use it. There's nothing more that you can do for now. Wait. You wait. There's little else to do. You sit and contemplate your, admittedly brief, existence as Jeff Bezos, the unimaginable wealth you struggle to spend, the problems that lay outside even your ability to fix. Was it really worth anything at all to rid the world of one man's billions? Was this really the best you could do? With this thought in your head, you lie down on your hard jail bunk slowly and you drift off to sleep. ... When you wake up in the morning from unsettling dreams, you find yourself changed in your bed to a monstrous vermin. You are Elon Musk. The true end. Nice. I love it. That's great. I don't know if you guys found that as interesting as I did, but I thought it was pretty cool. So anyway, I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, you know what? First of all, that is an absurd amount of money. $156 billion. And the thing is, that's not even what his current net worth is. I can't remember when this game came out, but it's ridiculous. It's a lot more. But anyway, $156 billion is a ludicrous amount of money. But anyway, so like I said, if you guys liked the video, I would appreciate it if you would drop a like on it. It lets me know that I'm doing a good job and that I'm doing a good job of entertaining you. If you did not like the video, however, as always, please feel free to drop a dislike on the video on one condition. You have to tell me why in the comments. I want to know what you guys have to say. And even if you don't have something bad to say, give me a comment anyway. I'd love to hear from you guys. Seriously, it's like the highlight of my week is reading you guys' comments and seeing you guys enjoying the videos. That means a lot to me. But anyway, if you haven't subscribed to me already, I would highly suggest that you do. There will be more videos like this coming out before too awful long. And hopefully it's all something that you guys can all enjoy. And if there's not, then believe me, this is kind of a variety channel. We'll get a little bit of everything on here in terms of video games of all kinds. So anyway, with that all being said, I hope you guys are all having a good morning, afternoon, evening, day, night, whatever, whenever, wherever you are. I hope you have a good one, and hopefully I'll catch you guys next time for whatever I decide to play next. So until then, take it easy, and I'll catch you next time.